Okay. This is going to be a little bit different from anything else I've ever posted, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. I'm at work. My job has a crap ton of downtime, a ton of walking, but when the walking's over, it's like 5 hours of just sitting there doing nothing. And I've been reading a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I started this job, let's see, a month ago today. I have read The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Fahrenheit 451, Mythos by Stephen Fry, Flowers for Algernon, I just finished, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, The Giver. I reread that. Some of these I have read before, some I had not. But of all the books that I've read, I literally just like a few minutes ago finished Flowers for Algernon. And I remember reading that book. I think it was in middle school, early high school. I don't remember exactly. But I loved the book. And I've always remembered it fondly. I thought it was an awesome premise, whatever. And then 2 days ago, I think, I can't remember when I started it, either yesterday or the day before. When I talk about how much downtime I have, I need you guys to understand that I have so much freaking downtime, which is great because I love reading like this. But anyways, I was excited to finish The Giver and start Flowers for Algernon. I had been excited to read it. It was on my list of things to read. I'm mostly going off of what's already in my library, my physical library at home. In fact, I had 2 copies of Flowers for Algernon, and I had taken it to, I'm doing the lights for a musical, and there's a guy who's helping out on the spotlight, and we were talking about books or whatever, and he was like looking for something to read, so I just gave him that copy of Flowers for Algernon, and I hadn't started reading the book yet. Again, like I said, I had remembered it fondly, so I gave it to him, and then I think last night was the night. Like I said, last night was. Did I start it last night or the night before? I can't remember. Now I'm starting to sound like Charlie. Anyways, I sat down to start reading the book. I was at work, and I don't know if you're familiar with the premise of the book, but the character, the book is a series of journal entries. They're progress reports, and the main character is Charlie Gordon. He is the guy writing the entries, and he is pretty severely mentally handicapped. I can't remember the exact, it does mention it in the book. It's some sort of enzyme deficiency or something. I can't remember. I looked it up, but it's a real thing. But he had like an IQ, I think, of like 68 or something like that. He could barely read. He could barely write. The book is written. His journal entries are riddled with spelling errors, grammar errors, whatever. Because he's not capable of it. And the premise of the book is that the character goes through an operation that rapidly increases his intelligence, and it works. He becomes like a super genius. Like I remember in the book, he talks about go into like a college party, I think, like with college professors, not like a frat party or anything like that, but with like the professors. And he like all of them are only, he realizes all of them are only experts in their field. When he tries to like connect the fields or like share other things with these people, they can't follow along with him because they don't have that capability. And he's been absorbing knowledge like it's nothing. And he comes to this realization that he's, kind of surpassed them. And eventually, he realizes that it's they always suspected that it might be temporary, and through his intelligence, he's able to confirm that it's temporary, and confirm that, he realizes that he's not gonna be able to retain this intelligence. He knows that he is eventually going to revert back to, or maybe even become worse than what he was before the operation. And when I started reading the book, I read the first entry, and I felt such a massive amount of anxiety just grip me from the inside. I don't know what it hit me hard. And I had, like I said, I already knew what was going to happen. So I think what it was for me, like, I knew I was about to read about this rise and fall of intelligence, but what I was going to realize even more, and what I had remembered even more, is him retaining the awareness, but not the intelligence. Throughout the book, he realizes that a lot of the people he considered friends were bullies who humiliated him and bullied him and were terrible to him. And it makes him feel even more isolated. And I knew when I started, in that first progress report, I already knew what the rise and fall was going to look like. I knew he was going to meet those highs, but I also knew he was going to come down, and he was going to retain the awareness that those people weren't his friends, and that he was going to be able to recognize when people were mistreating him, but it wasn't going to be able to help. It wasn't going to help at all him knowing, because he wouldn't be able to articulate it anymore. He wouldn't be able to stand up for himself. He wouldn't be able to like talk back or anything like that. It was just gonna be him. I don't even know what how to describe it. It was just like, I knew that was what's gonna happen. And when I read that opening progress report entry in the book, it just clicked for me that was my nightmare. I've never considered something like Alzheimer's or dementia or any other mental, what's the degenerative, I guess is the word. Like, I'd never considered anything like that before. That's not something that's super prevalent in my family. I have a grandparent who might be dealing with some Alzheimer's, but it's early on. We're not 100% certain how bad it's going to get. I don't know. So that scares me a little bit, but that's, 50, 60 years down the road. But like that, the idea that I would lose the intelligence that I have, and this isn't me going, oh, look at me at how smart I am. I'm 35, about to be 36. I'm on my third attempt at college after failing out twice. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm some super genius that has been, hiding for whatever. No, I know my limitations. I know I'm not, I don't belong in Mensa or anything like that. I'm just a guy. but like it is terrifying, absolutely, like the amount of anxiety and just, I fear I have at the thought of losing what I have in that way. Like, I'm trying to say this without sounding like vain or anything like that. That's not my goal. I don't know. This is so weird to talk about, because it also doesn't help that this is my first time doing this, so I don't have any structure for it. I don't have any like way to like go line by line here. I just know that like that scares me. That scares me a lot. But on the other side of that, to get away from my fear, it has been a very long time since I've read a book that's made me feel something like that. Like, I can't remember the last book I read that made me want to record a video of me of talking about it afterwards. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, there have been some movies, there have been some TV shows or games or whatever that I've kind of wanted to like debrief about after the fact, but nothing that's ever made me want to do it until this. So, man, I don't know. Like, this might be a little weird for, it's not like I have many subscribers anyway, but yeah, it's hard. It's interesting to talk about these things, and I want, like, I part of why I'm doing this, it's the same reason I'm doing the after church podcasts, which I will be doing again this coming week. This coming week, though it might be on Monday, because I have a musical on Sunday afternoon. But yeah, I don't know. This might be something I do for every now and then, especially while I'm at work and I have so much downtime. But anyways, thanks for listening to this rambling rant that has, I don't know. I feel better because I talked about it, even though nobody's really listening. So if you made it this far, I applaud you for it. I commend you, and I thank you. So hopefully it wasn't too bad. Toodaloo.